Have you ever stood in front of the mirror and quietly asked yourself, why am I not where I want to be yet? Have you ever whispered, am I doing enough? Or am I just making excuses? Maybe you've even wondered, am I losing to myself? These thoughts don't always come loud. They come in moments when no one's watching, when the world is silent, and it's just you, your reflection, and the weight of everything you could have been by now. You know you're capable of more. Deep down, you feel it. But emotions, they creep in. Fear, doubt, frustration. Some days it feels like your own mind is working against you. One moment you're full of energy, ready to conquer everything, and the next, you're stuck, overthinking, hesitating, giving in to comfort when you promised yourself change. But what if this struggle isn't just yours? What if it's been part of human nature for centuries? What if someone, long before us, saw this clearly and left behind a map to rise above it? Niccolo Machiavelli lived in a time of chaos, betrayal, and power struggles. But beyond the politics, he understood people. He saw how emotions can make strong individuals weak, and how self-mastery, not luck, not charm, is what separates the ordinary from the unstoppable. His teachings are raw. They don't sugarcoat life. They force you to look inward. They say, if you want control over your life, first control yourself. This video isn't about being emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally strong. It's about reclaiming your focus, your discipline, and your inner fire, even on the days when nothing makes sense. So if you've ever felt like something inside you is holding you back, this might just be the wake-up call you've been needing. Before we begin, write this in the comments. I am in control of my emotions, and nothing can stop my rise. Let's begin. Number 1. Control your feelings. Don't let emotions control you. There are moments in life when everything inside you wants to react. When someone disrespects you, when things don't go your way, or when fear starts whispering that you're not enough. And in those moments, it's so easy to let your emotions take the wheel. But that's exactly where most people lose, not to the world, but to themselves. Machiavelli understood something most people never figure out. Emotions are natural, but they're not always helpful. Feeling something doesn't mean you have to act on it. Anger, fear, even hope, they're part of being human. But the moment you let them make decisions for you, you give away your power. You stop choosing with clarity and start reacting blindly. And when that happens repeatedly, you become someone even you can't rely on. He once said, "He who builds on the people builds on the mud." That doesn't just apply to politics. It means anything built on shaky ground, emotions, opinions, moods, is bound to collapse. If your peace depends on what others say or how the day goes, then you're standing on mud. But if you learn to stay centered, even when life pushes hard, then no storm can move you. Think back. Can you remember a moment when you almost said or did something out of anger or fear, but you stopped yourself? And later, you were grateful you did. That one pause, that quiet decision to stay calm, was strength. That was you in control. That was power. Machiavelli wasn't asking us to be emotionless. He was urging us to be emotionally disciplined, to be strong enough to feel deeply, but act wisely. Because the person who can feel pain, frustration, or pressure and still stay steady is already ahead of most. So the next time your emotions try to take over, ask yourself one question. Am I choosing this, or am I just reacting? Your answer might just change your life. Number 2, accept reality brutally. Don't live in illusions. There comes a point in life where lying to yourself does more damage than anything else. We all do it in small ways. We tell ourselves, it'll fix itself, I still have time, maybe tomorrow will be different. We hold on to fantasies because they're comfortable, because they help us avoid the truth staring us in the face. But deep down, we know comfort doesn't change anything. Facing the truth does. Machiavelli believed that nothing was more dangerous than living in illusions. He didn't care for pretty lies or temporary feel-good ideas. He believed in clarity, even when it hurts. He once said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." In other words, don't wait for the world to wake you up. Wake yourself up now. Sometimes we avoid reality because we're afraid of what it might demand from us. That if we admit something isn't working, we'll have to change. If we see a relationship is toxic, we'll have to leave. If we accept that we've been lazy, we'll have to take responsibility. And responsibility isn't easy. It's heavy, but it's also the first step to freedom. You can't grow inside a lie. You can't heal if you keep pretending you're not hurt. You can't move forward if you're always waiting for perfect conditions. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It keeps moving. The sooner you stop sugarcoating things, the faster you gain control. Ask yourself, right now, what truth am I avoiding? What reality am I trying not to see? Maybe it's about your habits. Maybe it's about your mindset. Maybe it's about who you've been pretending to be. You don't have to fix everything today, but you do have to face it. Machiavelli wasn't trying to make people cold. He was trying to make them awake, to see clearly, to live with eyes wide open, even if what they see isn't easy. Because once you stop hiding from the truth, you can start building a life that's real. No one ever changed their life by waiting for the right moment. They did it by choosing to see things as they are, not how they wish them to be. So ask yourself honestly, am I living in truth or hiding in hope? That answer might shake you, but it might also save you. Number 3. Use strategy, not just strength. You can raise your voice, you can clench your fists, you can tell yourself you're not to be messed with, but if you don't have a clear plan behind your actions, all of it falls apart. Strength may get attention, but only strategy earns respect. And respect, once earned, is what opens doors that force never can. Machiavelli wasn't impressed by brute force. He observed that real power doesn't shout. It moves in silence, plans ahead, and strikes only when the time is right. He famously said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Many misinterpret this. He wasn't saying to become cruel. He meant that your presence, how you carry yourself, how you decide, how you hold your ground, should be strong enough that people think twice before crossing you. Not because they fear punishment, but because they recognize your clarity, your control, your consistency. Too often, we act out of impulse. We try to prove ourselves in the moment. But proof doesn't lie in reaction, it lies in results. And results come from strategy. From knowing who you are, where you want to go, and how to get there without wasting energy on battles that don't matter. Think of all the times you could have won something, an opportunity, a connection, a personal goal, but you rushed, reacted emotionally, or didn't think far enough. That's not weakness, that's human. But the lesson? It's that emotion-driven strength burns fast and burns out. Strategy stays. You don't have to be loud to be strong. You don't have to control people to lead. You don't need to be everywhere, doing everything. You need to be intentional. And that's what makes a person truly powerful. The ability to think 3 steps ahead, stay grounded, and never lose sight of the bigger picture. Being strategic means knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, when to fight and when to walk away, when to take a risk and when to wait. None of this is about manipulation. It's about maturity, about building a life that runs on direction, not just energy. So the next time you feel the urge to force your way through a challenge, pause. Ask yourself, what's the smartest way to move forward, not just the fastest or the loudest? Because strength might break walls, but strategy builds kingdoms. Number 4. Be adaptable and unpredictable. Life rarely sticks to our plans. Just when you think you've figured it out, something shifts. The job you thought was stable disappears. The person you trusted walks away. The routine you relied on suddenly feels useless. In those moments, your ability to adapt isn't just helpful. It becomes your survival instinct. Machiavelli understood that those who refuse to change eventually break. He said, "Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times." That one line holds more weight than most advice you'll ever hear, because it reminds us that success isn't about doing the same thing harder. It's about knowing when to do something different. It's about listening to what the moment demands, not just what your ego wants. You may be disciplined, you may be focused, but if you're not flexible, life will outpace you. There is no strength in being stubborn with the wrong plan. There's no honor in holding on to a version of yourself that no longer fits the life you're living. Adaptability means growth, and unpredictability. That keeps you powerful, because no one can put you in a box, and no challenge can see you coming the same way twice. Some of the most painful moments in life come from our resistance to change. We hold on to what's familiar, even when it's hurting us. We repeat the same behavior, even when it's no longer working. We expect the world to adjust to us, when in truth, it's always us who must evolve. Being adaptable doesn't mean losing yourself. It means discovering more versions of yourself that were waiting to be unlocked. So ask yourself honestly, when life throws something unexpected at you, how do you respond? Do you freeze? Do you fight it? Or do you flow through it, learning and adjusting as you go? Can you look at a setback and ask, what is this trying to teach me? Instead of, why is this happening to me? Being unpredictable isn't about being erratic. It's about being unshakable. Because when people can't predict your every move, when life can't back you into a corner, you become a force that keeps moving forward no matter what. That's power. Not because you controlled everything, but because you knew how to let go, shift, and rise again. Stay flexible. Stay alive. That's how you win. Not once, but again and again. Number 5. Control your image. Perception is reality. It's strange, isn't it? You can work hard, have a good heart, carry good intentions. But if the way you present yourself doesn't reflect that, the world may never see it. People don't always take the time to understand your truth. They react to what they see, what they feel from you. And that's why managing your image isn't fake, it's necessary. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." That's not a cynical view of the world. That's clarity, because in the real world, people don't carry mirrors. They carry perceptions, and those perceptions can open doors for you, or quietly close them before you even realize. So ask yourself, when people look at you, listen to you, interact with you, what do they take away? Do they feel calm, confident energy, or do they feel chaos? Do you come across as focused and intentional, or uncertain, unsure, always trying to explain yourself? This isn't about pretending, it's about alignment. Making sure that who you are inside and what you show outside are working together. That your actions, tone, posture, and presence reflect the grounded, capable person you're trying to become. Because here's the truth, your image is talking even when your mouth is not. The way you enter a room, the way you look someone in the eyes, the way you handle pressure, all of it sends messages. And when those messages say, "I'm in control," "I'm not easily shaken," or "I know what I stand for," people respond. Life responds. Your reputation can become your silent protector. When people believe in your consistency, your strength, your values, they treat you differently. Sometimes you don't have to argue or prove anything. Your presence does it for you. That is the power of image. But controlling your image doesn't mean being perfect. It means being conscious. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to carry yourself like someone who's willing to find them. You don't need to be loud, just steady. You don't need to be intimidating, just unshakably clear about who you are and what you allow. So think, what kind of energy are you bringing into the world each day? When you walk into a room, do you shrink or do you stand in your truth? Not to impress, but to express your inner stability. Control your image, not for ego, but for alignment, because the world can only respond to what it sees. Make sure what it sees reflects who you're truly becoming. Number 6. Don't show weakness. Strength is a signal. There's a certain kind of silence that follows when you show too much of your uncertainty. People don't always offer compassion, they calculate. They may not say it out loud, but they notice when you hesitate, when you second-guess yourself, when you let fear shape your tone. And slowly, without even realizing it, you start to lose ground. Not because you're not good enough, but because the image you're giving off says you're not ready. Machiavelli once said, "A wise ruler ought never to keep faith when by doing so it would be against his interests." It's a hard truth, but one that reflects the complexity of human nature. Sometimes being too open, too trusting, or too soft can put you in positions where your goodwill is taken for granted and your silence mistaken for weakness. This doesn't mean you need to be fake. It means you need to be aware. Strength isn't about pretending you don't feel pain. It's about holding your ground when that pain threatens to make you crumble. It's the ability to stand tall, even when everything inside you wants to retreat. Because strength is a signal, and the world responds to that signal. You might remember a time when you let your guard down too soon, shared too much with the wrong person, or failed to say no when you needed to protect your peace. What happened after that? Did it empower you, or did it cost you something? These moments teach us not to be cold, but to be wise. People respect boundaries. They may test them, but they respect them. When you walk into a room with calm confidence, when your words carry weight not because you shout, but because you rarely waste them, people feel that. You don't have to dominate. You just have to be clear about where you stand and what you stand for. Protecting your emotional energy is not selfish. It's smart. You are not required to bleed in front of everyone to prove that you're human. Vulnerability has a place, but only in the hands of those who've earned your trust. Everywhere else, let your strength do the talking. So ask yourself, what message are you sending when pressure hits? Do you shrink, apologize for your presence, soften your voice to make others comfortable? Or do you remind yourself that your strength isn't loud? It's stable, grounded, and always ready. Show the world what stability looks like. Let your strength become the quiet message that says, "I may bend, but I will not break." Number 7, plan for long-term success, not short-term gains. We all want results. We want to feel like our efforts are working, but sometimes in that hunger for progress, we chase what's easy, what's fast, what feels good right now. And later, when the excitement fades, we're left wondering why nothing really changed. Machiavelli once said, "The ends justify the means." Many misunderstand this, thinking it encourages manipulation. But in truth, It reminds us to focus on what truly matters, the outcome that transforms your life in the long run, not just the rush of temporary wins. You can either be the person who sacrifices discipline for comfort, or the one who sacrifices comfort for a future no one thought you could build. Most people give up not because they lack talent, but because they want things too quickly. They plant a seed and expect fruit the next morning. But growth doesn't shout. It whispers. It takes time. It demands consistency when no one is clapping for you. Long-term success is quiet at first. It grows in the shadows, in the early mornings, in the nights when no one sees you still showing up. It requires you to say no to things that feel good now, just so you can say yes to a life that feels fulfilling later. Think of the times when you broke a good habit just because it was hard, or skipped a responsibility for short-term ease. How many times did that moment of relief cost you more than you realized? True strength isn't in chasing the quick path. It's in trusting your own process, staying the course, even when nothing looks like it's working yet. Because success isn't an event. It's a direction, a decision you make daily. Machiavelli's wisdom, though centuries old, remains a living mirror for anyone serious about growth. When you apply these principles, you're not just reacting to life. You're shaping it. You're not just surviving. You're rising. You become the kind of person who doesn't need to be rescued, because you've already rescued yourself. Now it's your turn. Drop the affirmation again in the comments. I am in control of my emotions, and nothing can stop my rise. Not just as a line, but as a decision. Say it like you mean it. Say it like you're done being stuck. Say it like the future is finally yours to build. Thank you for watching. If this spoke to something deep inside you, like and subscribe for more grounded, honest, and powerful lessons. I'll see you in the next video, where your rise continues.